Hey everyone, welcome back to the Programming Fields. I'm Umesh Rana and today we are diving into the Laravel 12 React Starter Kit in depth. In the previous video, we explored all the new features in Laravel 12's Starter Kit including React, Vue and Livewire and gave you a full overview of what is possible in Laravel 12. But now we are going deeper and we will be starting with React Starter Kit. We will cover how the Laravel backend connects with the React frontend using Intertia.js and how the auth system works along with the how to build components and how to fully customize your React Starter Kit. And by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to work with the React Starter Kit in Laravel 12 application, whether you are starting fresh or switching from another stack. I will show you exactly how Laravel integrates React, how to customize components, and if you are wondering how Laravel handles React with Intertia.js, how auth pages work, how the folder structure is laid out, and how you can start building right away, this video is your go-to guide. And I will show you exactly how Laravel integrates React, how to customize components, how the backend and frontend talk to each other. And don't forget, this is a part of our Laravel 12 Starter Kit series. Vue and Livewire deep dives are coming next. So if that sounds good, hit that like button and let's jump in. So in the previous video, we did a quick project setup of Laravel 12 with the React Starter Kit, and that provided this authentication scaffolding, and we have this login and register option. And we saw a glimpse of the authentication functionality provided by React Starter Kit in Laravel 12. So again, if I'll log into the application, I'll provide the email address and password. Here I have landed on the dashboard page. So we saw this beautifully designed user interface provided by Laravel 12 Starter Kit. We have this dashboard, we have the sidebar, and we have the profile option. In the profile options, we saw the settings. We have the settings to update the profile information, delete account, update password, and also we can change the appearance of this theme. Alright, now we will walk through the folder structure of this React Starter Kit. So I'll be quickly navigating to the VS Code editor. Inside this, firstly I'll start with this composer.json file. Inside the composer.json file, we have the Intertia.js installed, and also we have this Titanco jig installed. So in Laravel 12, the React will work on the Intertia.js. That's why Laravel included Intertia.js to handle React functionalities. Now let's take a tour of the front-end folder. So inside the resources, we have the JS folder. Inside this JS folder, we have the app.tsx. So this is the landing page of the React Starter Kit in Laravel 12. And you can say this is the main entry point where Laravel hooks into React via Intertia.js. Inside this, we can see we have the Intertia.js React included, and this is create Intertia app. Next we have this resolve page component, and this is again included using this Intertia helps. Next we have this create root element, and this create root is included using this React DOM client. So this create root will create the root element for rendering the component. So based on that, this will render the components inside that root element. So there will be only one parent component and rest other components will be rendered inside that. So here we have the root element on which the React renders the component. So this app component is responsible for creating the root element in the DOM, and inside that DOM element, this will render all the components. So firstly, this is creating the root element inside DOM, and then inside that, this is rendering the app component. Also inside this JS folder, we have this ssr.tsx, and this ssr is server-side rendering. So this ssr.tsx file is the entry point for server-side rendering for React pages in your Laravel application. And this loads the React pages or components in the front end, and this setups the Intertia server-side rendering adapter. So inside this, we can see we have this create server function. This is rendering the server-side pages. That's why we have this resolve page component, and inside this has rendered the components or pages from this pages directory. So we have the pages directory inside this JS folder itself, and along with that this has added the extension as tsx. So whatever we will create a component or page, that will be rendered dynamically. Alright, and the purpose of using this server side rendering tsx file, because this is the entry point for server side rendering, and this will load all the React pages and components. But SSR is optional. It is only used when you enable SSR in your Laravel application just for the SEO or performance purpose, or you are building more dynamic application and want faster first page loads. Then you will have to set up the Intertia server side rendering middleware. So as of now, we don't have to touch anything inside this. This is just for the demonstration purpose only. So we saw the app.tsx and ssr.tsx. Now next, we will be navigating to the pages first. So inside the pages, we have the dashboard.tsx and welcome.tsx page. When we run the application, we saw the welcome pages. So inside the welcome page, we have the auth scaffolding. So that page is basically a React component, and that is rendered using the Intertia.js. Okay. If I will navigate to the browser, if I will log out, here we can see we have this welcome page, and this page is same that we are saying here. So inside this welcome.typescript page, this is included React using the Intertia.js. Here this is rendering a multiple components just like head. We have the authentication scaffolding. This is basically header section, and rest this is for description, whatever it is added here for this. Now we will understand how this welcome component or page is rendering here when we navigated to the home page of this application. So I'll be navigating to the route first. Inside routes, we have auth.php, console.php, settings.php and web.php. Previously in Laravel 11, when we were installing starter kit, that was giving auth.php route. But now in Laravel 12, when you install starter kit, this has added settings.php route. That I will come to this later. Firstly, I'll start with web.php. This is the main landing route of the web application. Inside this, we have this home route / and inside this anonymous function, this is rendering welcome blade. Here we have Intertia render function. This is rendering the page or component. Here we can see it has not included any path of this component or page. Only this has taken the page name as welcome. Now let's switch to the app.tsx. So inside the app.tsx, this will take the page that we want to render here in the app component. So inside this has added the folder path of that component or page. So if you'll notice here, inside the resources and inside this pages, we have the dashboard and welcome blade. So according to this web.php route, whatever this has passed the page name or component name, that has been rendered directly inside the app.tsx by including this folder path and extension. So this is how Laravel 12 renders React component in the front end. I hope this has created a basic understanding to you. Now again we will jump to the web.php route. Okay, so this was for the welcome homepage. Now inside this we have the dashboard route, and again this has rendered using the Intertia.js only. So for rendering the dashboard page, this route is added inside auth middleware. So after the successful login, the user will be navigated to the dashboard page. So again this dashboard page is rendering using the Intertia.js. So again for rendering the dashboard page, this component or page is added inside the JS pages dashboard.tsx. Inside the dashboard, we have the breadcrumb. So this breadcrumb is basically a file path that is denoting there. So this is a component basically. We have the title as dashboard and that link or route for navigating to this. If we'll check out to the web.php, here we have the route name as /dashboard. So this is basically the same path that we are seeing here inside this breadcrumb href, and this breadcrumbs has been added inside this app layout because this app layout is the root component. Next we have the head component. that is showing the page title. Now we'll come to the browser and we'll quickly jump to the login page. So here in the login page, let's take a look to this login page and let's find this login component. So inside the pages, we have the auth folder added, and inside this auth folder, we have this login.tsx component. If we'll scroll down, again Intertia.js React has been included. So Intertia.js provide this huge form hook for handling the form, and this has given this form event handler. And here we have a few components included, just like text link, button, checkbox, input, label, and this auth layout. If we'll scroll down, so here this has defined login form input types, just like email, password, and remember, because we have the checkbox added here for this. Okay, so this is the functional component here. Inside this is taking the login props as status and can reset password, and these two status variables are defined here. For handling the form and setting the state, this has used use form hook, and this provides this functionality to set the state and handling the data along with this processing errors and resetting the form inputs. And this is the form submit handler. So on submit, this is submitting this entire form to this login route, and after successful login, this will reset the input field. Okay, and here in the return function, this has rendered the form. Alright, so this is a quick overview of this login component. Same thing, we have this register component added here. Okay, from here we have this submit handler for registering the user, and on submit, this will redirect to the register route added inside auth.php. We have this post route for registering the user. So this will trigger the registered user controller store function. Alright, if we'll navigate to this registered user controller available inside app http controllers, we have this auth folder. Inside the auth folder, we have this registered user controller. Inside this, we have a couple of functions, just like create. So this create function is basically for rendering the register page using the Intertia.js, and this store function is for registering the user. And here we have the form validation added for the inputs, and after the successful validation, this will register that user, and this will trigger one event as registered, and based on that, this will send one email. And next, this will authenticate to that user, and this will return to the dashboard page. Alright, so regarding the auth controllers and all, we already saw in the previous versions of Laravel as well. Only we have to understand the front-end folders. So inside the JS, we explored the pages, and inside this auth, we saw the register login. Also, we have the confirm password, forgot password, and reset password link. Okay, and lastly, we have this verify email. This is for sending the email. Now if we'll navigate to the settings, inside this we have profile, password, and appearance, and we already saw these settings when we logged into the application. So all those functionalities are managed from this component. Okay, we have this profile.tsx. Now if we'll navigate to the components folder, inside we have the UI components. So that's why we have the UI directory here. Inside this, we have a couple of components for the reusability purpose. We have the alert component, we have the avatar for managing the profiles, same thing for the badge and all. We saw this breadcrumb, that's why we have this breadcrumb component, and all the title and URL will be added here. Next, we have this button component. From here, we can manage all the buttons, just like primary or secondary. We have the button variants. Okay, we have this card component that we already saw in the dashboard page. So if we log into the application, here we have the dashboard component. Inside this, we can see a placeholder of this card. We have the checkbox, collapsible, dialog box, drop down menu. This drop down menu is used here. we have the icon, input, this is for input field, we have the label. So all these components are added based on the starter kits only, because we have used React starter kits. That's why these all components extensions have been added for the TypeScript. When we will use Vue starter kit, that will add Vue components, and same thing when we will use Livewire, that will add the Blade components. Okay, now we will jump to the next. We have the hooks. So these hooks are added for managing the settings, just like appearance and mobile navigations. Inside this is for managing the appearance, and this is for splitting the name that we saw in the profile settings. Next we will see this library folder. Inside this we have the utils.ts, and this is merging the classes here. Alright, inside the types we have the global, index and with env. Now we will come to this layouts folder. So inside the layouts we have the app, we have the app header and app sidebar layout. So if we come to the browser, here we can see in the dashboard we have the top header navigation and we have the sidebar component. So Laravel provides the flexibility to customize these starter kits layout based on your need. That's why this has given these layout for managing the header and sidebar. Same thing for the authentication. This has added the auth card layout, auth simple layout and auth split layout. So this auth layouts will be managed for the login and register page. I will show you that. So firstly, I will navigate to the official documentation of Laravel 12 and I will switch to the starter kits. I will select React. Inside this, we'll come to this starter kit customization. So React uses React 19 with Intertia 2, and for the front end, this has used Tailwind 4 and SadCN UI for the component. If we'll check out the SadCN UI, this will provide a beautiful components. So if we'll come under the component section, here this will provide all the components. Here we have the alert dialog, avatar, badge, buttons and all. Alright. So React supports this SadCN UI and we can use it in our application for creating a beautiful and interactive designs. Now for the customization purpose, we explored these all directories here in our application. And if you want to add any custom components provided by SadCN UI, you can add a specific to that component. You can add that using this command. And if we will go down, here we have the available layouts. So that I was talking about. In the dashboard page, we saw we have this layout having the top navigation and sidebar layout. But Laravel provides this customization that if you don't want this sidebar, then we can change this layout to header layout. Because currently we can see we have this sidebar along with this top header. If you want to keep it simple, just like we had in Laravel 11 without this sidebar, then we can change this layout only. So if I'll navigate to the code editor, inside this settings, we have this app layout, and by default we can see we have this app sidebar layout included, and this has included from this layouts folder. So inside the layouts app, this has included this app sidebar layout having this sidebar component. Okay. So if you don't want this sidebar, then you can use this header layout only. So inside the app layout, I will change this app sidebar to app header. If I'll navigate to the browser, if I will refresh, this has not reflected the changes because we will have to bundle the assets. So I'll come to the terminal and I will simply run composer run dev command. So this will just bundle all the front end assets based on the current changes, and this is all in one command. This will start the Vite server and also this will start the application. So this is refreshing the front end assets. Now if we come to the browser and if we refresh, here we can see that sidebar has gone, and currently we can see only the header layout, and in the header this appearance has been changed. We have the search icon Also we have this repository, documentation, and this profile section has been moved to the top. From here, if we'll click on this, now we have the profile name, email, settings, and this logout option. If we'll click on settings, yes, we have the same layout rendered here, only this sidebar has gone. Now we will talk about the next customization. So for the sidebar, we have the different variant provided by Laravel 12 starter kit. So firstly, I will just reset this change. So I will revert this to sidebar layout. Yeah, this has rendered. So now we will talk about the sidebar customization. So this sidebar customization has been added here inside the components. If you scroll down, here we have the app sidebar.tsx. Inside this, if you scroll down, here this is functional component again, and inside this we have the few props just like collapsible and variant. So inside the variant, this has passed the inset variant. So Laravel provides a few properties in order to change the sidebar layout. So by default, we have inset property added as of now. Okay, and based on this, we can see we have a curve header for this dashboard section, just like this, and there is some gap from this sidebar and this header. Now if we change this to sidebar, here we can see this has changed the layout to full height and width. Now there is no any extra spacing for this main content. So this was another customization for this sidebar layout. Now if we'll come to the documentation, and if we'll talk about the authentication page variants. So currently we saw for the dashboard and this header. Now if we'll log out, and if we'll come to the login page, here we have this auth login and this is register page. Currently we have this simple layout, and for this Laravel has added few customization property. So we can change this layout for this authentication pages. So if we'll come to the code editor again, so if we'll come down inside the layouts, we have auth folder. Inside this we have three different layouts for managing the layouts for authentication pages, just like login, register, forgot password, and inside the settings we have the auth layout TypeScript component. Here we have auth simple layout component included, and this has included from this auth folder. This has auth simple layout. So this simple layout has only div having inputs. Okay, there is no any border or card kind of layouts. But in other variants, just like we have the card layout, we have a split layout. If we'll change this to card layout, there will be one card surrounded for that authentication page. Let's check this. So I'll come to this auth layout, and instead of auth simple, I will simply change this to auth card layout. I'll navigate to the browser, and here we can see the magic. This has changed the design to this beautifully card for this authentication page, and this has applied for the entire authentication pages, just like login, forgot password. Okay, now Laravel provides another variant for this authentication pages layouts. Currently we saw this card layout. Now there is another variant as a split layout. So in the split layout, the form will be divided into two columns. One will be for the logo or some slogan, and in the right column the form will be appeared. So let's change this to a split layout, just like this. And if we navigate to the browser, now here we can see we have authentication page divided into two columns. This is for logo or slogan, and here we have the beautifully designed page. Same thing, this has applied on the login page and register page. So for managing the authentication, Laravel provides three different layouts, and these all layouts are fully customizable. You can change the colors, designs, fonts, everything. And also for managing the main layout, just like header and sidebar, again we can customize it according to that. So we saw the UI and customization with the components. Now we will discuss about how authentication is working in Laravel using this React and Intertia. So login and register pages are built with React, but this validation is handled by Laravel only. If the validation will fail, Laravel will automatically send errors message back through Intertia and they show up in the form. That means now it is not needed to manually capture the form errors and render this to the form. Laravel will handle it for you. So we show the landing page of all the components. From here, this is the main entrance for rendering the components using the React. And if you want to add new page, we can just create the component inside this pages folder. And also we will have to define that route inside web.php. Rest, Laravel will take care of that rendering based on the page name and extension. So alright, that was a full deep dive into the React starter kit in Laravel 12. We covered everything from setup to structure, Intertia.js, components, and how Laravel plus React come together beautifully. Next, we are diving into the Vue starter kit and then Livewire. So make sure you are subscribed and turned on the notification, and let me know in the comments, are you going with React or are you waiting for Vue or Livewire? If you find this video helpful, drop a like, share it with your fellow developer friends, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care and happy coding.